Welcome back, learners. You are watching part 12 of our Azure Fundamentals AZ-900 series. If you want the full structured course, check the link in the description. Now, let's dive into today's questions. Question 61, Azure Cosmos DB is an example of offering. Select the correct option to fill the blank. The options are A, Software as a Service, SaaS, B, Platform as a Service, PaaS, C, Serverless, D, Infrastructure as a Service, IaaS. This question checks if you know the correct cloud service model for Azure Cosmos DB. You need to select whether Cosmos DB is a software, platform, or infrastructure service. The correct answer is Platform as a Service, PaaS. Azure Cosmos DB is a Platform as a Service PaaS offering. It is a fully managed, globally distributed NoSQL database. Users provision databases directly, configure rules, and scale automatically without having to manage any underlying servers or virtual machines. Microsoft handles all deployment, maintenance, failover, and updates behind the scenes. PaaS offerings give you the tools and environment to deploy applications or store data without worrying about the physical infrastructure. Cosmos DB is a textbook example of this model. A. SaaS, software as a service, is for end-user applications like email or CRM software, not database engines. C. Serverless. While Cosmos DB offers a serverless pricing tier, its core offering is still PaaS. D. IaaS. Infrastructure as a service gives you raw VMs, storage, and networking, which you must fully manage yourself. Cosmos DB abstracts all that management. Quick takeaway. Azure Cosmos DB equals PaaS. Fully managed, auto-scaling, and serverless capable, but fundamentally a platform service, not just a piece of infrastructure or user-facing app. If this video is helping you, support us by hitting the like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Question 62. You are planning to migrate several servers from an on-premises network to Azure and need to identify the primary benefit of using a public cloud service for the servers. What should you identify? The options are A. The public cloud is a shared entity whereby multiple corporations each use a portion of the resources in the cloud. B. The public cloud is a crowdsourcing solution that provides corporations with the ability to enhance the cloud. C. All public cloud resources can be freely accessed by every member of the public. D. The public cloud is owned by the public, not a private corporation. This question checks your knowledge of the core concept behind public cloud services such as Azure, AWS, or Google Cloud. The right answer must describe the basic defining benefit of public cloud for organizations moving from their own data center to the cloud. The correct answer is the public cloud is a shared entity whereby multiple corporations each use a portion of the resources in the cloud. A is correct. The public cloud is fundamentally a shared pool of resources, servers, networking, storage, provided and managed by a third-party provider like Microsoft, Google, or Amazon. Multiple organizations can rent and use their own slice of the cloud, but everything runs on shared underlying infrastructure. This allows for better utilization, pay-as-you-go billing, and rapid scaling. Other options are incorrect. B. Public clouds are not crowdsourcing platforms where users build or enhance the service itself. C. Access to resources in the public cloud is not open to everyone, only to customers with accounts and permissions. D. Public clouds are owned and operated by private corporations, Microsoft, etc., not by the public. Quick takeaway. The public cloud is like a modern, secure, scalable utility. Organizations share the infrastructure, but each gets a private, secure space. To get the free PDF or mock test, comment PDF or mock or both. I will share the downloadable link within the next 24 hours. Question 63. What's the correct sequence of the cloud adoption framework? Select the correct option. The options are A. Plan, strategy, ready, adopt. B. Strategy, adopt, plan, ready. C. Strategy, plan, ready, adopt. D. Adopt, plan, strategy, ready. This question tests your understanding of the core phases in the Microsoft Cloud Adoption Framework, CAF. You need to select the sequence in which organizations typically strategize, prepare, and launch a cloud adoption process. The correct answer is strategy, plan, ready, adopt. The Microsoft Cloud Adoption Framework, CAF, follows the key progression. Strategy, plan, ready, adopt. Strategy, align cloud adoption with business goals and define measurable outcomes. Plan, assess current environment, prepare people and processes, and create a detailed roadmap. Ready, deploy secure, scalable Azure environments and landing zones ready for workloads. Adopt, migrate, or build production workloads to the cloud to realize business value. This sequence ensures organizations first clarify their why, then create a detailed plan, get their infrastructure ready, and finally execute cloud adoption. Why the other options are wrong. A. Plan before strategy is backwards. You need strategy to guide planning. B. Adopt before plan and ready is unrealistic since adoption requires preparation. D. Adopt leading the sequence skips all essential prep stages. Quick takeaway. Strategy first, then plan, then ready your environment, and finally adopt by migrating and modernizing workloads in Azure. That's the proven CAF roadmap. Question 64. Which one of the following approaches would be the most efficient way to ensure that a naming convention is followed across a subscription? Select the correct option. The options are: create a policy with the naming requirements and assign it to the scope of the subscription. B. Use Azure Lock. C. Send out an email with the details of the naming conventions and hope it is followed. D. Give all other users read-only access to the subscription. Have all requests to create resources sent back to you, so the names can be reviewed while assigned to resources, and then create them. This question checks your knowledge of enforcing consistent naming conventions in Azure. The key is to find the most efficient and automated method to ensure all resources follow the naming rules without manual intervention or hoping for compliance. The correct answer is: create a policy with the naming requirements and assign it to the scope of the subscription. Creating an Azure policy with the naming requirements and assigning it to the subscription scope is the most efficient way to enforce naming conventions automatically. Azure Policy allows you to define rules that specify allowed naming patterns using conditions like regex. When a new resource is created or updated, Azure Policy validates the name and can deny deployment if the name doesn't comply, ensuring compliance across the subscription automatically. Azure Lock, option B, prevents accidental resource deletion or modification but cannot enforce naming conventions. Sending an email, option C, is manual, error-prone, and unreliable. Giving users read-only access and manually reviewing requests, option D, is inefficient and cumbersome. Quick takeaway. Use Azure Policy for automatic, subscription-wide enforcement of naming conventions. This saves time, reduces errors, and improves governance. Question 65. You have 100 virtual machines hosted on the Hyper-V hosts in a data center and plan to migrate all the virtual machines to an Azure pay-as-you-go subscription. You need to identify which expenditure model to use for the planned Azure solution. Which expenditure model should you identify? The options are A. Elasticity, B. Consumption-based model, C. Operational expenditure, OpEx, D. Capital expenditures, CapEx. This question checks if you understand the financial expenditure models associated with moving to Azure's pay-as-you-go cloud service. You need to consider which cost model applies to cloud consumption compared to traditional on-premise investments. The correct answer is operational expenditure, OpEx. Operational expenditure, OpEx, is the right expenditure model for Azure pay-as-you-go because Azure bills you monthly based on actual resources consumed without upfront capital investment. Azure's pay-as-you-go model converts traditional capital expenses, buying physical hardware, networking, into flexible operating expenses where you only pay for what you use. This allows organizations to avoid large upfront investment, shift costs to ongoing payments, and scale resources up or down dynamically. Elasticity, option A, is a cloud characteristic, not an expenditure model. Consumption-based model, option B, is technically related, but OpEx is the formal finance term for the pay-as-you-go billing pattern. Capital expenditures, CapEx, option D, applies to purchasing physical equipment on premises, which doesn't fit cloud subscriptions. Quick takeaway. Azure pay-as-you-go equals operational expenditure, X. You pay monthly for consumed cloud services, shifting from upfront hardware purchases to flexible billing. Thanks for watching today's session. If you're following the AZ-900 series, make sure you don't miss the next part. And if you haven't already, check out the complete course. Link is in the description. See you in the next video.